competing, something that I have known virtually nearly half of my life. And I've done it for such a long time. It feels weird to not be doing it currently right now in this present moment. I have played a handful of tournaments this year, a handful last year and a handful year before, but nothing major. I played in 2 tournaments this year, Twitch Rivals and another major tournament. Placed okay in one of them, and then the other one I didn't place that great in it. But yeah, it is a question I get often asked, like, Jaff, when are you going to be competing again? Are you going to be competing again, or is just this it? Well, today we are here to answer it. I want to be talking about the whole journey, though, from the complete and utter past, from 10 years ago to the current present right now. What I did throughout my competing career, where I was at, and where I'm going to be going. But I guess the first starting point is the past. I first started competing back in 2014-15, Advanced Warfare Black Ops 3. Advanced Warfare, I was doing something called Clan Wars. If anybody doesn't know what it is, it basically, if you're a part of a clan, you could do Clan Wars, and basically you pub stomped your way to the top of the leaderboard. Back in the day, that's all I kind of did. I used to pub stomp, but in Advanced Warfare, I got invited by a bunch of mates that also competed as well as pub stomped. I started in GBs, game battles back in the day. We slowly moved on to in Black Ops 3 to the back end of Advanced Warfare in 2015. Tournaments and wagers and stuff like that. Now, again, if people don't know what I used to do, I used to compete in 4v4 Search and Destroy, but also 4v4 Respawn. Kind of similar to the CDL, but back then it used to be the CWL, so the COD World League. And there was other formats as well. You had UMG, game battles, CMG, everything. It was a lot of different websites. So I used to compete in a lot of different things, and it was during my university time as well. So I was studying during uni. Well, I was just about to go into university. And yeah, I was competing, I was trying out, I was doing different things. I was kind of enjoying playing game battles. If you guys don't know what game battles are, it's 4v4 S&D. Versus another team, and you'd get 3 maps, and it's best 2 out of 3. And I used to enjoy it quite a lot, and it wasn't until back end Black Ops 3 a couple of people had told me, like, why don't you kind of chase this? Like, you're pretty good at the game, why don't you try and go further? And at the time, I didn't really think anything of it. Like, I was kind of conflicted. I didn't know where to go with it. I was obviously, head was in, you know, part of me was in competing, part of me was in education. And obviously my future in general, I kind of wanted to look after all of it at the same time, but also try and live in the moment. So I did anything that, you know, I did the thing that I thought was best for me, and that was try and balance all 3, right? I was competing as well as I was in university, as well as trying to look after my future and look out for jobs as well. So I somehow managed to balance it all. And I competed in through Advanced Warfare Black Ops 3, like I said. And then IW came out, Infinite Warfare. I attended my first LAN event. It was I-Series in Birmingham. And I played in my first LAN event. If I can find the photo of me, I will try and put it up on screen right now. If it isn't, I'm super sorry that you won't be seeing it right now. But yeah, I took a team. We finished, I think, top 18, which wasn't that great, but also great at the same time. We just fell short of Championship Sunday, which obviously is where you want to be. That's where you're competing for the money, and obviously you compete against the best players in the world. It was my first LAN. And I was playing with a team that, you know, were in similar situations. You know, some people had just started off competing, and you know, it was kind of fresh for me. This whole space was kind of alien for me, right? After that, truth be told, it kind of kickstarted my career. I got, you know, a lot of people and all interests from a lot of different teams, and I kind of went from there, team from team. Nothing kind of really set concrete, and that is because really, I was juggling university as well as trying to, you know, have money and income, but also at the same time trying to do something with Call of Duty professionally. So yeah, like I said, it was on and off. I competed quite a lot, went to numerous different LANs, and did a lot of tournaments, wagers, and all that type of stuff online. And yeah, and then it kind of took myself up to 2019. Call of Duty Modern Warfare released. It was kind of the reboot on the Modern Warfare franchise. And I found myself playing a lot of tournaments online when I was full-time working. And like everybody in, we know that, 4 months later, I want to say it was maybe around end of February, start of March, lockdown hit. And no one kind of knew the future of what was happening with lockdown, how long it was going to last for. No one knew. Warzone came out, I believe, in March 2020, and that is where my life changed completely. I was playing and streaming every single day because I was doing nothing else. I was on furlough. And yeah, I got invited to loads of different tournaments, and it was great. I played with one of my best mates and a lot of other different people as well. And the one tournament that completely changed it all for me was Syndicate Sundays. I'm going to leave a link in the description of the Syndicate Sundays montage that I did with my best mate to get invited to the tournament. And I got picked by Sprat. Now, a lot of you know that I played my first tournament with Sprat on Syndicate Sundays. I think it was a 2-day event, or a 2-week event, should I said. So it was 1 day each week. We finished 3rd. So, we definitely could have finished higher, but that kind of changed my life forever. Throughout that, I obviously met a really good mate in Sprat. Like, we still keep in touch. We still meet each other very often. Even though we don't play with each other as often anymore, we still meet each other. We still keep in touch. So I made a really good mate through it. But through that, my whole career kind of blew up. And I was streaming on a daily basis, streaming to everybody, but at the same time I was still competing, and throughout the years we had 2020, 21, 22, we had World Series of Warzone. Now the first 2 tournaments, I think the second one I placed decent in, first one was all right, third one back in, I believe, was Warzone 2 is where everything kind of changed for me. So throughout my time of competing and doing a lot of different things and streaming, obviously, like I said, I did some tournaments. I won some tournaments, which was amazing. I won a good handful of tournaments, and I placed high in a lot of tournaments as well. Throughout that time, I was competing and streaming at the same time. And going through those years, 2020, 21, 22, I had the decision to make whether I wanted to carry on doing what I was doing and streaming and competing, or do I really want to move into the content side of things? And I'll be honest with you, at the time, I was, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I wanted to do both at the same time, and I was doing both at the same time. But in 2023, towards the start, I decided that I wanted to kind of flip a switch on content and really push content and really go all in on content. I enjoyed it a lot more. Not to say that I fell out of love with competing and Call of Duty. I absolutely love it. I love playing every single day. I love making content on it. I have a great time. Like, I wouldn't be streaming and making content and making videos on it if I didn't enjoy it. I absolutely did. For me, I just loved making content even more. And the thing is, I can do all 3 at the same time. I can stream, make content, and compete. But ultimately, the one thing that I learned throughout those years is a work-life balance. And if you're not having a decent work-life balance outside of the game, outside of competing, outside of streaming, outside of content creation, naturally you're gonna get burnt out. You're gonna start feeling, well, naturally you're gonna feel unwell within yourself, and you're not gonna feel as sharp as you are. So I learned in 2023 that I was gonna up the ante on content creation, and naturally I did. I got invited to COD Next, which was an absolute blessing. Over here, we have my COD Next invitation, which is really cool, and it showed the kind of hard work that I put in to kind of get to that point. And it was a really big, proud moment for myself, not only for myself, for my family too. My mom and my dad, at the time, were my biggest supporters. Now I obviously have Molly as well in my life, but at the time, my mum and my dad were my biggest supporters. And they used to love hearing about all the cool achievements that I did, all the cool stuff that I amounted to, and where I was going with it. They were super proud of. I mean, they still are, but you know, they were so super proud of me. And yeah, it was kind of the first step in the right direction going to COD Next, going out to LA with Call of Duty, seeing all my friends, Tactical Brit, Lackey, Westy, Benny. It was really cool, and to be in part of that really kept my drive and wanting to go with content creation. So at the start of 2024, a lot of you well know that watch my streams on YouTube know that I actually made the transition to actually streaming on YouTube as well as Twitch at the same time, and actually making content at the exact same time. And yeah, so not only, or prior to that, I was just kind of Twitch and didn't really upload on many platforms besides TikTok. Heading into 2024, I did videos, streamed on YouTube, and streamed on Twitch at the same time. And I do that to this day. And throughout 2024, I grew my channel to be absolutely... In 2025 right now, a year and a half on, would you have asked me, would I have been in this position? I would have, you know, been super grateful to be in this position, and I am. I cannot believe how much we've grown in a short period of time. It almost feels like a dream. We have achieved so much as a community, and pushed in so much leaps and bounds that I never thought I'd get to. And I just want to say, first of all, from the bottom of my heart, everybody that watches my streams, thank you all so much. And this is just the start. This is just the start of something absolutely crazy, and it's going to be an amazing future together. I'm going to be putting out the best content I possibly can on YouTube, and also live streaming the best possible content as I possibly can as well. And, you know, it won't just be Call of Duty. There'll be other games in there as well. You know, as you know, that me and the boys also stream a lot together. Myself, Westy, Lackey, and Stod. We'll be streaming a lot of different games, having a lot of fun, and putting a smile on all your faces, and that will not be changing. But the big question is, what about the future? Is this it for competing for me? And the answer is, truth be told, I don't think it's the full end. It was more so the fact that I was focusing on something that was really important to me, and I will always focus on that. This year, I'm not competing in World Series of Warzone because the dates didn't line up with my scheduling. But it was something that I debated and actually had a team for prior to knowing the dates. I had the team, absolutely everything locked in. And listen, it wouldn't have affected the content that I put out. It wouldn't have affected the live streams. I would have made it work. When I say competing, it doesn't mean that I'll be competing in every single tournament. It would just be me competing and grinding towards majors. And majors like World Series of Warzone as a tournament start, you know, if I do get invited out to those, I'd like to be ready for them. And I'd want to be trying to, you know, only the tournaments like, you know, the big majors like World Series of Warzone. Again, this year I didn't compete this year due to scheduling. But next year, if the scheduling works with me, you best believe I'm going to attempt to get myself to the World Series of Warzone Grand Finals at LAN. So, the bottom line is, people are asking me what is the future in regards to competing. My priority is content. It will always be content from now on. I love making content. I love doing content for you guys. It's my absolute favorite thing. We have shared so many amazing memories over the past year and a half, and it's been absolutely crazy, like so fun. And it has been my favorite year, and it's been my favorite time ever streaming. I love it to bits. So that will not change. I will always be putting content first. But if the schedules work out, I will definitely try my best to get to those finals and those LAN events. You can best believe it. But like I said, I'm only going to do it if it works with my scheduling. So yeah, that answers that. I hope that answers the question properly. I know I briefly mentioned this in streams, and I said that I'd be releasing this video for some time, but I kind of wanted to share a bit of a journey with you all. not many people know about my early stage of competing and where it's taken me and where I'm at right now. A lot of people may used to watch me for what I used to stream 6, 7, 8 years ago and wanted to know if I was ever going to compete again. Some people may have picked watching me maybe 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 18 months ago, and may only know me for my content. So I kind of wanted to talk about the past, the present, and the future. And like I said, the bottom line is I will always be doing content until you know, forever. Hopefully I'll be doing content forever. And yeah, but if the scheduling works out, you best believe I will try and compete. But guys, until next time, take it easy. Peace.